This project came from a lot of different sources of inspiration. The main one would probably be my childhood. I spent a lot of time outside when I was a kid, and a lot of that time was spent creating forts and hideouts and secret places. I often didn't feel like I fit in as a kid, and I spent a lot of time inside my mind, and I found that by creating hideouts and safe places in the woods, running around with my dog and having all my little getaways, they were always places that I could process the world around me and feel a moment of peace from whatever our family had been fighting about, or whatever I was mad about, or whatever was stressing me out. It was just a place where I could go, be alone, and I think that is very important. The idea of a refuge, is a safe place, and I believe that you're never truly alone, because even when you're alone, you're still with yourself, and you still have your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, and that's important to take the time to process that stuff. So yeah, there is a spiritual component to the work, and there's an emotional component to the work. There's a component of history that comes from my life. And I was also very inspired by the theme of refuge because of everything going on in the world right now. There's so much conflict. There's so many people in the world right now looking for a safe place to just exist. And so it's important, I think, right now for a piece like Refuge to comment on the need in the world for having safe places. I chose a variety of growing and natural materials for the piece. The structure itself is woven together around a rebar frame, and the weaving materials themselves are actually saplings and sticks, grapevines, various materials that I harvested from all over the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia. I was fortunate enough to have some wineries donate some of their trimmings, grapevines to me for the piece. I was fortunate enough to find a variety of beautiful colors out in the wilderness. It was a bit of an adventure hiking around and finding sustainable options for materials. And it was many trips up into the mountains before the installation even started. Just preparing the materials, how they would look, how they would go together, and making sure that they were the right length, and so forth. That's the structure. Around the structure are planters, just boxes filled with fertilizer. The bottoms of the planters are actually full of pop bottles, and it's sort of a recycling method of creating space for the roots to grow and the water to drain properly out of the boxes. I garden quite a bit in my free time, so I've discovered quite a few different methods of repurposing things and creating things affordably. So yeah, those are the raw materials that make up the piece. There's also lights, irrigation components, and hundreds of different types of flowers. Whether it's muraling or painting, portraiture, sculpture, installation work, music, it all is connected through the concept of community. And I consider myself to be a community-centered artist. I'm very interested in people, who people are, what people want, what people need in order to thrive, in order to be the best people they can be. And this piece is about that. It's about connecting that idea of community and the idea of connecting people together into this structure. It's the very idea, I think, of an interactive sculpture is a community-based work because people are invited to come together, to be inside of it, to walk through it, to walk around it, and perhaps throughout that interaction with the art, they might be invited to interact with each other in some way. And I definitely am inspired by people and community. There were many challenges putting the project together. Funny enough, the biggest challenge was coordinating vehicles. I don't have a very big car, and I needed a truck to harvest all of these natural materials, so I ended up going to many different people and borrowing a few different variety of vehicles to get out and collect things. So just coordinating time and coordinating my energy was probably the biggest struggle overall, because it was a very intensive installation. It was a high energy project. It took a lot of my focus. So yeah, just making sure that I allowed enough time to complete on the project, and didn't ignore my family completely or my other responsibilities.
Okay, so last question. What do you hope visitors will take away from this project?
There's two types of things visitors are going to take away from this project. There's the things that they will take away for sure, like the sights and the smells and the sensorial milieu, you could say, of all the different things that they're just going to be, they're going to be hit with all these things when they walk into the courtyard. The colors, the textures. It's a very textural piece. So I do hope to appeal to people looking for a sensorial type experience. The other type of experience that people are going to take away, I hope, is a personal one that hopefully reflects on their own experiences as a child, their own memories of needing refuge in their own life. And it might not even be that far away as a childhood, but even immediately, either from, if you need a break from watching the news, or you need a break from fighting with your partner, you need a break from fighting with your boss, you need a break to just close your eyes and reflect and rest, and maybe taking in some of those smells and those sights will help center the viewer within themselves to a point where they can be in a place of self-reflection. I wanted to mention that this piece is a gallery of its own. It's sort of this inception concept of a gallery within a gallery. And being a community artist as myself, I see the city itself as a gallery. I see it as a collection of people and interactions with people, and these are all pieces to be observed. Installation and performance pieces are everywhere in a city, whether you choose to designate them as fine art or not. I do view the city as a gallery. So what we have is a quiet, reflective, gallery-like environment, situated within a quiet, reflective, gallery-like environment, situated within a city, which I think is much a gallery as anything else. So for me, it's this, the piece takes on this sort of onion layer, in the sense that sometimes when we need to reflect within ourselves, we need to peel back a few layers, and we need to go inside of ourselves a little bit. We need to dig a little bit deep to actually get down to the things that need to be addressed in our personal lives. And I really feel like the physical aspect of this piece, and just where it's situated in our society of Kelowna, is a really great parallel to that image of going within yourself. And so I hope that that comes through for someone, even if it's just one person.